Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
Hey, and there we are. It's another Sunday here on the Touchdown Crew. Welcome. It is 7, and I repeat, 7 days till Christmas. Santa's feeling pretty lucky. Apparently, Santa is granting the wish for Odell Beckham not to play this year, because apparently that's the case. But joined to my left, or excuse me, to my right, if you're viewing, is Michael. Mike, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
Not much. Everything's going real good today.
All right. Excellent. Want to thank everybody for joining in. Happy holidays to everybody. Actually, probably something we should talk off the air about is, are we going to do a show next week? And if so, is it going to be a Saturday show, a Sunday show, or are we just going to say, the hell with that, just send in our picks and that's it. We'd be done with it. So what do you feel about it, Mike?
Well, I know Sunday morning not going to happen. That's what, Christmas Eve?
Yeah, that's definitely not going to happen. I already, if it came down,
Sunday is Christmas Day.
Oh, we ain't doing that. That's Christmas Day, yeah. So I don't think we're doing that, and obviously we're not going to do a late night show. I don't think on Saturday. So, I guess if we do a show, it would be Saturday morning. If we don't do a show, we just don't. We'll just send in our picks and wish you guys a Merry Christmas, and we'll hit you back up the following week. That's all we got to say about that. So today we got a couple of things going on here. Kyler Murray is out for the year. We already know that. The Steelers apparently are going back to Mitchell Trubisky because Pickett is ruled out. And the same thing with the Jets situation. Mike White is not cleared. They're going to plug in Zach Wilson. So let's start off this conversation right now. Zach Wilson benched, not even active for the past couple of games. We don't even want you on the sideline. Oh, we're going to go ahead and put you in now to start. If you're Zach Wilson, how do you feel about the Jets right now?
You don't trust me. I'm still confused on the coach, but like you didn't, like you said, you didn't dress him. You didn't take him. I wasn't on the active roster. Now I'm starting. So what happens if I have a good game?
Maybe that's the whole point. It's like we're going to give him a chance, because the whole reason we benched you is because of your play anyway. I think his attitude too, but at the same time, you do have another quarterback on your roster. It's a quarterback that actually won the Super Bowl at one point in time, Joe Flacco.
Right.
My point is, you want to put a quarterback that you haven't even dressed. But Flacco has been dressing, but you trust Zach Wilson over Joe Flacco.
Are you trying to play a mind game with a young kid who's probably struggling anyway mentally?
Do we see Wilson in a Jet uniform next year? That, I guess, would be the ultimate question.
It's going to be hard to get rid of all that money.
Well,
you look across the league, like we've had this discussion multiple times. Who's in need of a quarterback and willing to take a year, maybe two, on that guy?
Tampa Bay maybe without a quarterback.
Maybe
Just
not.
Saying.
Yeah, you never know with that guy.
San Francisco's going through coaching carousels, and we're not really sure about this phenomenon guy over there in San Fran. I mean, nobody ever heard of him, and yet he put a beat down on the Buccaneers. But then everybody's been putting a beat down on the Buccaneers, to be honest. Their defense is softer than melted butter. So we got to take a look at that. I don't even know the guy's name. It's skipping my mind right now. I forget his name, the guy from San Francisco. But anyway, San Francisco maybe needs
Mr. Irrelevant. That'll do.
Yeah, that's it, Mr. Irrelevant. There you go. He was the last pick of the draft. Yeah, he came to Brock Purdy. Thank you.
Purdy, yeah, Purdy.
I knew he was Purdy. But San Francisco, and let's be realistic about this. San Francisco has been in a quarterback carousel since they got Garoppolo. Garoppolo's been injury prone. Then Trey Lance comes in. Okay, Trey, it's your team. Trey Lance gets injured. We gotta go back to Garoppolo. Garoppolo gets injured again. All right, now we're going to Mr. Irrelevant. So it's like in San Francisco, it's like you need about a good handful of quarterbacks to be on your roster to get through a 17-game season. It almost seems like that.
Yeah, it's something about Frisco. They get the injury bug, and it'd be like one position. Like last year, it was a carousel running backs. It's just something, but almost. I'm not gonna say any, but when you have a productive run game and a good defense, it's not hard to be the quarterback of a team.
Yeah,
you're true. I'm gonna throw your team out there with the Patriots. They had a carousel of multiple quarterbacks who left and went somewhere because their offense was screen game, run game, screen game, run game, solid defense. And now those quarterbacks are doing what?
They're not doing anything. Well, yeah, outside of the obvious. I mean, they're not doing anything. We got they're not. I don't even think they're in the NFL anymore, to be honest with you. And if they are, they're backing up or third stringing it.
Right.
So Ryan Mallett was one of them. Brian Hoyer was he's still there, but yeah, it's the only guy that really did anything coming out. And I guess Jacoby Brissett, you could say he held down the team, but he was like a bridge quarterback.
Yeah, Jimmy G.
Jimmy G's got to get over this injury bug. It's killing him. It's killing his career. So I don't know what's going on with Jimmy G. They got to find a fix for him, get him some vitamins or something. I don't know. But Zach Wilson, back to the topic at hand. Zach Wilson, what are we doing with Zach Wilson? I mean, are we going to play him? Are we going to sit him?
I mean, you done said he's the man now. I don't know how. 2 weeks off, he's the man now. My question is, he comes in and he 325, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and a win. And then White gets cleared. Now what?
Yeah, do you just go back to benching Wilson and going to Mike White?
Because your reason for benching Wilson was his mechanics, or he had some little. It wasn't nothing major. Wasn't no major losses. It was just that it was mechanics.
He's still winning. I don't understand that. Okay, his mechanics are off. He's throwing interceptions, but they're still winning. Why would you take a quarterback when you're still winning? If the Jets do not make the playoffs after having been in the playoff hunt and in contention for all this time, does this cost Robert Saleh his job?
Not this year. I don't think so. I think because everybody sees what they're doing and they're winning key games, they're not the bottom team of that division no more. They're in the hunt and they're competing in every game.
No, you're right. They're not the bottom team in the division no more. We have that luxury. But
so
if you take a look at the bottom team in that
division,
but if you take a look at the bottom team in that division, they could be number one in the AFC South. Tennessee's only 8-4, 9-4, or something like that. It's like they could contend for that. That's how tight the East is. They have everybody winning. Everybody's winning in that division. So, but we're talking about his mismanagement of this team, his mismanagement of the quarterback scenario overall.
But here's the question. Here's the question: Is it mismanagement if there was no significant change? When he made the change, did they lose?
See, I don't think so. I think if you just let things be the way they are, if you go ahead, if Zach Wilson is costing you games, okay? If Zach Wilson is costing you games, then I don't think so. But there's got to be something else going on. There has to be. John says this. He thinks that. He says he thinks White lost his locker room.
Both of them lost the locker room.
Mike White. I think Mike White. I think there may be some political aspects going on. Mike White might have been charged and saying, "Hey, look at what I've been doing in practice. Put me in there." And if that's the case, if a quarterback, backup for that matter, can go ahead and change the mind and tweak the mind of the head coach, that head coach is weak. Do you agree?
Yeah.
You're a coach. You tell me.
Yes, that's hands down the truth. There's
You
no
don't
way
let-
or reason a backup guy should be coming telling you. Well, I'm not gonna say he should be telling, but if you make a change because he told you, then you definitely are weak. I want my players to come tell me they think they're ready.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
if I
Coach,
make a
put me in.
change and there's no reason for the change, then yeah, you're a weak guy. But it's hard to get rid of somebody because they're still winning, even after your change. Even if it don't make sense to me, it made sense to you and you won. And he did an excellent job. So you saw something, and that's what we got to ride with. So actually, that would put more faith from the GM in you. Like you have an eye for why you're making your adjustments.
Right.
So I don't think he would be on a hot seat. I don't think he would be fired. I think it probably gave him a little more credibility because if White would have came in and stunk it up, then he'd have been in trouble.
Well, let's take a look at this. The last 2 games for the Jets, they went ahead and they beat the Bears 31-10. That was their last win. That was the last win. I think that was Mike White's first start.
Mm-hmm.
Last 2 games they lost. And, if you take a look at, they lost to some, pretty deep contenders. They lost to Minnesota 27-22, which we'll get to Minnesota in a second. We'll get to that game. And they lost to Buffalo 20-12. Now they're facing Detroit at home. And both of those games that they lost, they had lost on the road. So not sure if that has anything to do with it, but because they were previously undefeated on the road except for losing in New England, which, again, you could make the claim that Mike White, Zach Wilson blew that game because there was a lot of mistakes that Wilson was making. And obviously that was his last game he played. But Mike White coming in, he's getting points, but I mean, he was getting points, but it is his team's not winning. Now, Detroit's no slouch. Detroit's coming on recently. They're going to score points. Your defense better be ready. Now, the question is, even if Mike was to play, does the Jets have enough firepower to contend with the Lions? Possibly. Maybe. But the mismanagement of that team or the quarterback position overall, I think has been atrocious.
Yeah.
So, anyway, they got
like
Detroit,
said,
Jackson.
And both sides, he hasn't made no major issues.
They are 7-6 right now, and they are behind New England. They're actually behind New England.
Yeah, because of a tie, right? Because of the head-to-head.
Because the head-to-head, we've beat them both times. So right now, that's the only reason why they're behind. But they have a winning season, and in New York, the New York media should be happy with a winning season, don't you think?
No. Oh, from where they was last year, most definitely.
Well, but this is the New York media. It's like, hey, listen, we
got the playoffs. Yes. You're not undefeated.
You ain't competing with that. You ain't competing with that at all. All right. Detroit, Jacksonville at home for the Jets next 2 weeks. Then Seattle and Miami. And by the way, I do want to point out Detroit today, Jacksonville Thursday. So they have a short week. I'm not sure of. I'm just going to have to take a look here. Hang on a second. Okay, apparently it was a rib injury for Mike White. Is it? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if he's even able to try to make it on Thursday. He may not even do it on Thursday. So Zach Wilson, taking a look at it, if you're really pissed off the coaching staff, Zach Wilson's like saying, well, listen, bitches, I got 2 games to prove myself, and I'm going to do everything I can. And like you said, what's going to happen? Throwing mechanics and all. If he comes out there and slings it, puts up 30-plus points, and doesn't turn the ball over much. I mean, this is Zach Wilson. We should expect at least an interception somewhere down the line on each of these games. But as long as you manage the game correctly, why not get you back in the starting job? Unless you have no intention on keeping this kid on the roster next year.
I wish I had the answer because it's not adding up. It goes back to you didn't even dress this young man and you overlook Flacco. It's like, what's the point of Flacco?
Yeah.
I don't understand his thought process. I don't, like I said, if you're playing a mind game with this young kid, what are you trying to get him to do to accomplish instead of just coaching him up to fix his mechanics?
And like I said, and unless there's something behind the scenes that's not being reported, like maybe they have been trying to say, Zach, you gotta drop your shoulder down. Zach, you gotta throw a little bit on this foot. You can't go ahead and throw on the run. And he just keeps like ignoring the coaching. That's the only thing I can see. It's like, listen, we're giving you every opportunity to succeed. You're not listening. You're still doing what you want to do. And this is how you play in the pros, kid. If you don't like it, well, we're just going to replace you. Because if you go ahead and you don't dress them, yeah, there's going to be something else going on that makes no sense. But anyway, so that's the Jets situation. They're in last place. They're out of the playoffs right now, unless they can go ahead and get things worked around. Again, it's early. There's plenty of games left to go. They got 4 more games on their slate, and I think that's with everybody right now. There are 4 more games on everybody. Colt McCoy in over there in Arizona. Kyle Murray out. He is done for the year. Torn ACL. And that's just Murray's aggressive play. He just is not. I don't think he needs to change his outlook when he comes back. I mean, obviously he's going to come back, but I think he needs to be more of a pocket and or presence quarterback where he can go ahead and feel out the pocket, maybe scramble for a little bit, but not go ahead and try to be a Josh Allen. That's not going to work. All right, hey, we got the other coach on here. He's joined us in. What's going on?
What up? What's up, man?
Morning.
All right,
Morning.
full roster here. Good. So let me get Vic's take on this one here because I kind of want to get his take on it. We were talking about. Well, there's a lot of quarterback injuries going on right now. Of course, we know what's going on in San Francisco. Kyler Murray is out, and then Mike White for the Jets is out. So there's some quarterbacks that are retaking the spot. Zach Wilson's coming back in. They're going with Zach instead of Flacco after being not even benched, not even dressing for the couple of games. They're plugging him back in the starting role. What is your thought on this? Should they have gone with Flacco? Mike's already told me his thing, so give me your take on what the hell is going on in New York.
You gotta go with Zach Wilson. Only reason because he was the starter, and I'm not gonna say he's your future, but that's who you're paying your money for right now. Like what Flacco's gonna give you because you've seen glimpses of him earlier this year and you've seen glimpses of him last year, so you kind of understand that. I think that was the thing. Like Flacco was at the beginning of the year, he was the starting quarterback. They didn't want to see White shine too much because they didn't want to make it a controversy of who they should start. So you got to go with Zach Wilson because he was the starter. He's the guy that was supposed to be. He's the second round draft pick and everything else. He's the savior.
He's the savior. Yeah, kind of like how Sam Darnold was, right?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
So he's the savior, okay. And again, question that I posed was why? Okay, so when you went ahead and made the move for Mike White and said, all right, we're gonna go with Mike White, see how he does because you got some mechanic issues and we're coaching you and you're just not listening, blah blah blah. Why not bench him instead of just plain out not dressing him?
Because it's. Even though he was benched, what, 2 games, Mike?
The 3.
3. So even though he was benched 3 games, those still are learning moments. Like one thing about it, and Mike can vouch for this as a coach. When you're on the sideline, that's how you get your mental notes. That's how you get your mental readiness and understand the game. For him, when Zach Wilson was given the keys to the car of the Jets, of the offense, he pretty much didn't have any push on anything. So now it was kind of like you got benched and Mike White was doing his thing. So it's kind of like, all right, I need to focus or else I'm going to be like Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield.
Okay. All right. So they should take a little bit different than what Mike was talking about. But yeah, I guess learning
Mike,
curve.
what'd you say?
About him sitting on the bench?
Yeah.
I thought he was just trying to play mental games with him, which I don't think is a good thing. You trying to move forward, or you moving back and you skipping over Joe Flacco. It didn't make sense for me. We don't like Charles said. Is he something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about? So
no, I mean, there's three aspects that you got to realize. Number one, you already know what Flacco's gonna give you because you've seen him last year and this year. Second thing is the money. It's a money thing. You're talking about he was a first round draft pick. He's a first round draft pick.
I got to screw around with Mike.
No, it's all good. He's a first round draft pick. So when you have those things, and then White balled out these 3 games, came back off the injury, and pretty much put it kind of on himself, like that changes how changes everything, man. That changes the whole program because like all those have to come to right because you're not gonna bench $1 million asset. You're gonna give him chance after chance after chance after chance. And I've said it from the beginning. I would have started White last year after seeing him in the regular season games, but I was never a fan of Zach. And because one thing about him, he put me in that same. You never heard about what he does in the game except negative. You hear all the good things outside the game. With that. So
all right. Mike, Chicago Mike over there from 1252 Chicago Sports up there, man. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing well, Charles, but I haven't been with 1252 for like a year and a half. But it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, whoa. Hey, listen, I'm out of the loop. What you been up to? Go ahead and plug your stuff, man.
Oh no, it's all love. I'm just still rocking with ASAP over there, doing my own thing. I'll be seeing Coach Victor Bennett from time to time. You know, it's always a pleasure. Coach Mike, that's my guy. After last week, that's my guy, Charles. I made a new friend. I'm excited. And Charles, I saw the Charles Richardson show, and I was sitting with my girlfriend while I was watching it, and Charles made a comment. And it was my favorite comment I've ever heard in my life. And it was honestly, it was the best. It was the greatest. I was so lit. I can't say it on here because me and Charles will get in trouble. But if you haven't checked out the Charles Richardson show, 10 out of 10, it's a masterpiece.
I was just saying in the clean version, I was just saying that Mike is so busy. He needs to get his stress relief. And he probably's been so backed up that, it'd be like an avalanche coming out when he finally does. So.
Hey, so
anyway,
I looked at my girl, I was like, "You heard that? You heard what he said? Like that's crazy."
Hey, listen, I don't know your relationship status, man. I had no idea you even had time to have a relationship.
No, I loved it, Charles. It was my favorite. It was my favorite episode you've ever done. And I loved it.
Probably the only episode you ever watched. But anyway, thank you.
I watched a lot of them. Actually.
It. Really, I appreciate it. Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 to 10 Eastern p.m. This Monday is going to be our last show of the year, so we'll kick it back off on January 9th next year. But a little shameless plug there. Man, I hate to go ahead and bring this topic to go ahead and rehash the subject, but I kind of want to get Mike's take on it. Zach Wilson and how the Jets are handling the quarterback scenario right now. He is plugged in to be the starter this week after not even dressed in the last 3 weeks. What's your take?
I mean, listen, and I think this is my favorite conversation to have about it is because it reminds me so much of my Bears. It reminds me of the Mitchell Trubisky situation where a guy was overdrafted and overvalued during the draft. There was a lot of stuff talking about him. It wasn't throughout that season, but towards the end coming out of BYU and what he had accomplished, which wasn't a lot. Guys just kind of overvalued him. You had guys like Justin Fields and Mac Jones and Trey Lance that were all still available and still on the board. And, we're having a conversation right now about a guy who, 2 years later his locker room does not like him from what I'm hearing. It's a very different attitude than the Trubisky side of it. Trubisky was a great dude. He just sucked. And that was the difference. And Zach, you can be one of two things. You can be a bad teammate or a bad player, but you can't be both. And Zach is being both right now. And I think the only positive outlet of Zach Wilson the entire of the 2022 season was the rumors that he banged his mom's best friend. And that was it. That was the only bright side I've ever seen where any Jets fan was like,
cares? Who even cares?
Exactly. And the only bright side is a non-football conversation. So Zach Wilson to me, bum. And I could say it just like that. I don't believe in Zach Wilson. Mike White, the fact that this man has gone to 10 different doctors for one of them to clear him, one dumb doctor to try to clear him just because he wants to play that bad. That's QB1. Like, that's your guy. That's the guy you want at the helm. That's the guy you want under center. That's someone you could fight for, someone you could bleed for. Mike White is the dude. Now, Coach Bennett hit it on the head. Dude threw over 400 yards in a single game last season. If it was up to me, after that game, it would have been Mike White the entire rest of the way, and Robert Saleh being that kind of guy who, understands as a defensive coordinator, as a head coach now. You're on thin ice in today's game of how long you get to succeed. Guys like Vic Fangio, I mean, they're out the door in just a few years. So, I mean, I would have been rocking with Mike for a while.
Yeah, so you would have been Mike all the way, huh?
Yeah, 100%. From one white Mike to another, I'm with you, my brother.
Boy.
My bad. Is that
All
enough?
right.
I thought it was funny.
I don't know. I think that's. We'll go. Oh,
Coach, that was
we
funny,
got
right?
the coach.
You got to give me that. Come on, man.
Yeah, man, you good.
Mike left the coach.
I thought it was funny. I was ready for it. Oh, did Messi just get?
No, I think he had to go to the bathroom or something. I don't know.
You
We'll
watching
get
the World Cup right now,
we'll get him
Charles?
back with
Charles, real question. Are
yes,
you watching the World Cup?
1-0 Argentina. I got.
We'll give Argentina a free kick.
I'm watching it right now on one of my screens. 1-0 Argentina.
Yes, sir.
Right now.
I'm watching it too. Coach Bennett, we need you in the World Cup train, my man. We need you there.
I have friends, dog. I picked friends from the beginning.
Oh,
Messi got knocked out, man. He just got knocked out by running into the guy. So
he's got backup though. He's there. That's the GOAT.
Oh yeah.
I don't care.
Okay. Well, he's the one that scored the penalty kick. It was 1-0 Argentina on a penalty kick,
Yes,
which
sir.
they've been playing very aggressive. But hey, listen, this is the championship, Anyway, back to the football stuff. Well, the American football stuff. Excuse me. Russell Wilson over there in the high flight Denver Broncos, and I say high flight just because they have they're in the Mile High City.
Right.
Out against the Cardinals. So it's going to be Colt McCoy going up against whoever they have, Brett Rippon. What an interesting game, and what a great game this is. Two backups. Number one, and this goes for both of you, and maybe even Mike when he comes back, is Brett Rippon a better option than Russell Wilson at this point?
Ooh. Coach Bennett can take that one.
I'm gonna revert to the coach. You're the type of person, Mike, to go ahead and flip the coin. You win, and you got to defer.
100%.
That's you. So is Brett Rippon, Vic? Is Brett Rippon a better option for Denver right now than Russell Wilson?
Yeah, because Russ hurt. He has a concussion. If not, no.
I'm talking about if he did it.
No, man. Come on, man. I'm not gonna disrespect. I'm not gonna put Russ in that category. Like, no one knew who this kid was until last year. Until last week. Like, if I asked anybody who is the Broncos backup quarterback, no one didn't know this guy. So you robbing Russ. Russ is hurt, and the biggest thing is what you want to do right now. You just want to make sure he's 100% healthy for next year. So, no, man. No. Not a better option.
Go ahead, Mike. You're up.
It's definitely not a better option. I think, man, when you look at it for what it is, I just wanted Victor Bennett's take on it because last week he told me a concussion's a concussion and he didn't really care. But it's definitely like an interesting conversation when you look at the Russell Wilson history. And I think not to turn it into a whole different platform and a whole different conversation, but I remember a lot of people last year, you look at a Hall of Famer like Russell Westbrook, and he has, a very uncharacteristic year, and everybody said he's washed, he's finished, he's done. Like, this is, at the end of the day, this is still Russell Wilson. And I think it's been a very bad season. It's been a very bad year for the Russes in the world.
But it's not.
But he's not done. I think it's just a horrible year. No, I'm not saying you said that. I'm just saying.
No. And Mike heard me say it all the time. It's not. I don't think it's Russ more.
Right.
So. I think it's the system that they're running, because you're running a system who you used to coach, who has a strong arm that can throw everywhere across the field. That's Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. So now Russ, that's not Russ' game. Mm-hmm. Russ is, I want to scramble, run around, and then chunky deep. Now he has a good deep ball, but that's not his game to just throw it all across the field. And I think that's the problem, especially when they get into the red zone. That's not his style. He wants to run the football. He wants to run around.
And I think you hit it on the head, too. I heard you and Charles talking about it. It was probably like week 7. Don't quote me. Week 7, week 8. Jerry Jeudy is supposed to be this top-tier guy, this next Jalen Waddle, coming out of Alabama. He's supposed to be that dude, and he really hasn't emerged as that. You have Tim Patrick's out. Noah Fant is gone.
But none of them.
And none of them. Sutton's not great. Like, none of them are really amazing. And then you look at the backfield, and it's like, man, it's just by committee now with Williams out, and they cut Melvin Gordon, and Melvin Gordon makes a whole post about how much he hates the Denver Broncos facility and how much he hates the coaching staff. And there's a lot of things that are going into that. And I think, it's just one of those seasons where it's like, on paper, great team, but it does not transfer over when you look at how they actually perform.
The other Mike, the handsome Mike down there on my lower left.
Definitely not over, but I think injuries played a part of it. Like Bennett said, the system wasn't favorable for him this year. I think they was looking for let's try to take the top off the defense all the time. I don't think they relied on the run game as much as they needed to. It was just a domino effect of multiple things that just put him in a bad situation. And as a quarterback, you get the wrath of all that. So he's not done. I just think health wise throughout the whole team, not just him, has to favor the Broncos. They're not scoring a lot of points, and at the same time, the defense not giving up a lot of points.
Right.
But you losing 19-20, like Bennett said, they couldn't score more than 19 points. And 8 of the 17, 9, 10 of the 17, you was less than 20 points on them games.
If they scored,
it's actually Denver is actually below Tampa in offense right now, and Tampa hasn't been doing that great either.
They're last in the red zone, Denver. If Denver scored, I think 17 points a game, they only lost 2 games this year. It's just being honest.
Yeah.
But that was before they played the Chiefs. But before then, but I said that from the beginning. I was like, you brought this head coach in that's never been an OC. And the time he was an OC, it was in Jacksonville, and they was god awful. He wasn't calling plays in Green Bay. He might have a little bit of say so, but he wasn't calling plays. But then you get an OC and you make a trade for a quarterback that doesn't fit. And what a lot of coaches do, they force their offense or they force their defense on the players that don't fit their system instead of adapting. And we talked about, I know we're living so much on Russ in the past. We're living so much on even the receiver core of what they did in college. Because every year they're always hurt. There's always 2 or 3 receivers hurt for the Broncos every year, and we gotta get to a point where we look at the now. What did Russ do last year? That's why you think Pete Carroll got rid of him. Why he's not worth $30-something million? Because the $40-something million quarterback is what? That's a playoff team at least. That's a second, third round, right or wrong?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you get paid that amount of money, and you're not chomping at the bit for a conference championship or a Super Bowl bid. You ain't worth that money.
No, but let me ask you this, Mike, both Mikes and Charles. If Russ was in Seattle, you think they'll be still winning?
I think he's hurt by now.
Like he is in Denver.
Coach Mike?
I don't know. I think. Listen, I don't think he's worse than Geno Smith. So I think their record would probably be somewhere around where he's at right now.
Oh, my bad.
Okay.
I think
was wondering. I was wondering because, like I said, because if you look at this trade right now, man, Seattle has won. They're about to
major win.
They got this year's first round draft pick. Oh my gosh, what is that? Top 2, top 3?
Right.
You're talking about a reload, retool. I don't know why he's throwing his hand up, but okay.
2-0, Mike. 2-0, Mike.
That's why I said, but I didn't know if you were delayed or not, so I didn't say nothing. I didn't want to ruin it.
I was a little bit delayed. I was like 15 seconds behind you. It's all right.
My bad, Vic. We're having a bonding moment. Charles and I don't have many of these. But no, Vic.
Hey, listen,
it's
good.
My bad, Vic. I do think, to your credit, I think you said it and you hit it on the head. What would they be doing in Seattle with Russ? And that's why I said I think he would be hurt, not a concussion. Like, I think he would be genuinely hurt because you saw in recent years the Pete Carroll system was getting Russ banged up, and he hasn't really been, the health of wealth that he used to be, and the guy that could still take these hits. And I think, that's the conversation right now with Geno is like Geno's this pocket passer who's still kind of able to move around just a little bit. I'm not going to say he's the most mobile guy in the room, but he can move around and he can get it done. And I think that's kind of where they've been able to succeed and they've been able to excel. And with Russ, you kind of know, the blueprint of that is it's going to work for a little while. But Russ gets clipped or he gets something happens with his ankle or his shoulder, whatever it may be. And he just hasn't been able to take those hits the same. So I think that's really the conversation for me is, I think it would be the same thing you saw last season where it's a great roster. It's not bad. But you also have to take away Noah Fant. You also have to take away a couple of the big key weapons that they got from obviously the trades throughout the Russell Wilson trade. And it's kind of just the same crap they've been putting up. The only difference is Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, but
Kenneth Walker's been a big difference though. That's the thing.
You got
your run game back.
Right.
Yes.
It's a huge difference.
But I think that's the thing. When we sit here and you look at it, what was the issue for Seattle? They couldn't draft linemen.
Right. They can't protect
draft linemen. So they had to reload on the defense. Then they had to mess around and then you drafted receivers for us. So when they made the trade, okay, now let's get an O lineman. Now our line is better. Oh, we got a running back. So all they're doing is, man, Pete Carroll's going back.
Would you be able to afford all that? Would you be able to afford all that paying Russell Wilson $40 million?
No, that's the thing. You're not paying. There's no one in the NFL, and what Pete Carroll knew it because he's been with him. He's not worth $45 million.
No,
because if you give him $45 million, that's a guarantee. You're talking about guaranteed second, third round playoffs.
Coach, you said it last season. When did these guys have the most success? It was when these quarterbacks are on cheaper deals. Even take it back to Patrick Mahomes and what they've been able to accomplish since he got paid. The conversation is once a quarterback starts making over $30 million a year, it's a lot harder to start putting around a 53-man roster together. And I think that's where you saw the success with Russ was, early on, it's kind of on these cheaper deals. And now he's starting to make the big bucks. And it's a lot harder. Unless you're Tom Brady like Charles.
Are you really putting a comparison to Patrick Mahomes getting paid and not producing? The dude's on the leading right now of passing yards and touchdowns.
No, I'm not comparing their play. I'm comparing when you look at the Super Bowls and their Super Bowls come when quarterbacks are on cheaper deals. And that's what it is. It's a lot harder to bring guys to bring in an offensive line. Look at Kansas City's offensive line. It's a lot worse than it was just 3 years ago. And that's a big reason is because you have such an elite talent like Patrick Mahomes, but that's the market. You have to pay these guys. I'm not bashing Mahomes, and his play has been perfect even without Tyreek Hill. Like, that's just what it is. Maybe not perfect. I don't want Coach to be mad at me.
Well, that's what they're saying. It's like, Tyreek Hill left because he was wanting bank, and Kansas City wasn't. Listen, you ain't worth that much. So go to Miami and look what they have in Miami. Miami's been pretty good.
He's not worth that much.
No, he's not.
No, I'm not saying he is. Listen, I don't think Patrick Mahomes is worth $50 million a year, to be honest with you, but that's the market now.
How
Right.
come
That's the
you think,
market.
why do you don't think how deep does he go to the playoffs every year? Like,
Oh, he's there. He's contending for the crown of the AFC every year.
100%.
This year, I don't think it is. Honestly, this year, I don't see him going to the conference championship. I don't.
I'm like afraid to pick
But-
either way.
I didn't hear what you
I
said.
just don't see Kansas City. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're lagging really, really bad here. But I just don't see Kansas City making a run for the championship this year. And I'm not talking Super Bowl. I'm talking about AFC.
But
I
how
think there's
come?
just way too many teams out there.
But how not? Who do you put?
Because I think if you,
let me and I'm like, hold on.
I
Time
got,
out. Let me,
I got Buffalo.
I
I got Buffalo.
I think it's not like a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. I don't think they have a chance, but I don't think it's like
but
Right.
nothing.
Not like before.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, they got a chance. Tennessee's got a chance for crying out loud. But I'm just saying they got a chance.
last
I'm
year
not saying
everybody
they
was like
don't.
hands down.
All right. No, you didn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't, Mike. Because guess what? When they lost to Buffalo, they got slaughtered by Buffalo. Oh, they're done. When they got slaughtered by Tennessee. Oh my gosh, what are they so sorry? No, man, don't sit there and say that. Y'all can say what you want. When you put money on the line, out of all the quarterbacks, if you had to bet your life on it, I guarantee it's gonna be Patrick Mahomes. Guarantee it's gonna be Patrick
Yeah,
Mahomes.
I'm like Mike. I know a guy wearing number one in Philly.
I know a guy wearing number one,
We're
not
talking-
in Chicago.
We're talking AFC. We're talking AFC. But
I know a guy who's
But let y'all
number
tell
one.
you, there's a
Miami.
few of them.
huh?
Let y'all tell you, y'all was screaming Herbert. You was screaming
Who?
y'all said he elite.
Who?
Who says one of y'all said he was one of the elite?
Boy, Mike, could you please explain to him my definition of elite? Because I didn't say that.
It's a very, very
Yeah,
gray line.
Because
Vic's
look,
definition of Vic's
It's a
definition
small
of elite
room,
is
coach.
Tom
It's a
Brady and
small
Patrick
room.
Mahomes.
it's a small room. Because they put Josh Allen in that category. I had not put him. I have never said Herbert was elite. I said he's the prototype quarterback that they like in the NFL. But
Which is a 6'5" white boy, and that's just what that is. Like that's,
true, but that's another story. But
Charles, it's true. I just did a whole paper on it. It's fuck. It's messed up. I'm gonna say that. It's
Listen.
messed up.
All right, you
But, Mike-
take a look across the board. You take a look across the board. Yes, there's very few black quarterbacks that are successful in the NFL. There are
But let
very
me
few
ask
of
you-
them.
let me ask. I'm gonna ask you this question. Let me ask you this.
I miss his day. I miss when he says that.
When the game is on the line,
I'll tell
we
you
like
right
this.
now.
We can say if it's Philly
Right.
gets Patrick Mahomes. There's 2 minutes left. Patrick Mahomes got the ball. Does he put fear in your heart, Mike? Does he make you nervous?
Be
Everybody
concerned.
could-
You'll be concerned.
For
You'll
all
be
the people
concerned.
listening to the audio, he's nodding his head. Yes.
You'll be
So-
concerned. You'll be
Yes.
concerned.
So I mean, and it's the same way with look. That's the thing. It's the same way with Tom Brady. When it's 2 minutes left and you see Tom Brady driving, you're like, oh gosh, here it is.
Do you want to know who's elite now? Who's elite now? That's going to go ahead and get you that game-winning drive. You're going to all laugh at me. Kirk Cousins.
I'm about to leave. Where my thing at?
Take
You better be. No, I thought. Listen, I thought
that shit back right now.
you was gonna at least say Joe Burrow. I give you maybe possibility Joe Burrow, but no.
I think Lamar Jackson.
No,
is the
I
conversation of a guy who can do that.
haven't seen Burrow bring his team back out of his ass like that. No.
I have.
He
He
got
did it
sacked
against
like-
Kansas City.
And he got sacked like 15 times against Tennessee.
Right. He's a dog. Joe Burrow's valid for sure.
You can't-
But I think
look.
out of everybody, coach, if like neutral ground, same offense, let's say everybody's got a Travis Kelce, a Tyreek Hill. I think I trust Lamar Jackson the most. And I think it's just a lot of people haven't been watching his game like that to really fully understand that. I mean, the kid makes plays. He just doesn't have the weapons.
The only issue is, again, Lamar's great in the regular season.
Hmm.
He ain't done nothing in the playoffs.
No, 100%. But I think
He's
if
gotten better.
everything is valid, everything's the same.
Get paid, young man. Get paid. It's all I've heard all goddamn season. Get
Hey, man,
paid, young, but he does nothing in the playoffs.
Yeah,
But get paid.
he
Get paid
has
like
to.
you're gonna go for that AFC championship.
Yeah, but no.
He needs a
yeah,
receiving core. I don't care what nobody
Yeah,
says.
they need a receiver.
Yeah, he does. He does. He needs a receiver core and an offensive coach.
Like
That's
Lamar
coach.
Jackson in Tampa
all
Bay
that.
right now, Coach Victor Bennett. You think they win the Super Bowl?
Oh God,
Everybody healthy.
no, they'll be out the first round.
Yeah, I would.
I think they win the Super Bowl. If you got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, you give him those weapons, I think Lamar Jackson easily wins.
It's not even that. It's just the part of the run game
Right.
and with that defense. But anyway, man, all I'm saying is, Mr. Coach Beckett, I've never put what's name in the elite. It's a small room.
There's
Well,
like one dude in that room.
and guess
Tom
what?
Brady and Patrick Mahomes. That's the two. That's the
Of
two.
course, they're in there. They're chilling, looking around.
And Kirk
Hey.
Cousins, according to Charles.
That's it.
Hey,
And over
Barrow-
the hill, over the hill Hall of Famer versus and a curly haired whack job that can sling the ball 5,000 yards a year.
Yeah, but he sucks in the playoffs. But anyway, no one's picking the Vikings to go past the first round. But that's another story for another day.
No, I'm not saying that. They're gonna get in with
I
the
think
number
they
2
get first
seed
round.
and
I think
You said what?
think?
I think they
If they start today, they'll win the first one.
I think so.
Boy,
Hold on a second.
You got-
Hold on a second.
You're
Hold
looking at the
Go-
Giants and the Washington Commanders.
Yeah. I'd give
on
them
a
that.
second.
Nah, you're looking at the Minnesota Vikings.
No.
No, sir.
You number 2 versus number 7. 3, 4.
That's
5,
the
6,
Commanders.
They beat the Giants. No,
The
Giants.
I'd
They
still
can
give
beat them.
it. I'd still
I-
give it to the Vikings.
Yeah, I'll give it to the Vikings.
I would.
Name 3 wide receivers on the Giants right now.
That's healthy.
Sterling Shepard.
You said
That's-
name 3 wide receivers? Name 3 wide receivers?
On the Giants.
I don't
I
care.
don't think they even
You
have
know
3
who you
wide
got.
receivers on their active roster.
Oh yeah, who do you got? That running back with a neck injury?
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't they just got they was in a
Ooh.
dog fight with the Colts? Come on, man. Come on, man. And it,
They won.
and it-
39. Hey, coach, 39 unanswered. 39
Come on,
unanswered.
Come on, I'm not entertaining this. You know what? We'll see in the playoffs, Mike Becky. You want? Hey,
Listen,
bet your
let's-
beard
You
on it.
saying
Mike,
they? I'm
Mike,
saying they
all
would beat
right,
the
Mike,
first
bet
round.
your beard on
Oh,
it,
yeah.
and then you got to grow
Oh,
your
yeah,
hair
shut
out. So you-
I'm saying if they get
So,
one of them
all right,
two
let's-
teams, they win the first round.
Okay.
let's get some of these comments here. So, because obviously we have some, everybody's just crazy. John over here, of course, with the Go Cowboys. My Christmas today is the Bears beat them Eagles.
He's been wishing all year, hasn't he?
Ooh. He has been, yeah. Anthony's in there. Off topic, you think Lamar will take the contract the Ravens give him, or are we going to want to sign the big deal with somebody else?
Oh, they're gonna have to match whatever he's
question.
offered. Everybody's gonna offer him still money.
Oh, they hit him with the franchise anyway.
Damien goes ahead and,
What did that man say?
No,
He
we're
said
not.
he needs your Bears to
No,
win
no.
today.
It's not happening.
Damien says Barrios asked Zach to stay on the starter his day before they played the Bears. That's why he didn't play. So they had the locker room doesn't like him. Can't be true if there's somebody on his side. Well, there could be one person on his side. Doesn't mean the
Okay,
whole
so
locker room's on there.
The only part of me, but
And he
the only other white
continues-
guy on the team likes him, and that's a coincidence. Okay, my bad. Barrios and Zach Wilson can go hold hands in the free agency. I don't give a shit. Both of
Damien
them
says
suck.
on Russell Wilson, to be fair, Russ has had a bad season with the Seahawks. He hasn't been good since the Super Bowl.
I think he had a couple years after the Super Bowl. But that was really it.
He just had better teams that eliminated him.
Yeah.
John
Mama
says,
said
Mama
get
said, get
paid."
paid, my boy, get paid.
Yes, sir.
And Damian, Lamar has more weapons than Justin Fields. Y'all say they don't have wide receivers. He has wide receivers. Hell, Hollywood Brown, Justin Fields has nothing but running backs.
That's
Hollywood,
not
I don't
Hollywood
know if I-
Brown.
Hollywood Brown's not even on that team.
He's in Arizona, and he led the league in drop passes.
Right.
Baltimore receivers haven't caught a touchdown pass in 10 weeks.
And we sit here.
At least.
One thing, I'm not gonna sit there and say, man,
You got Chase Claypool, Darnell Mooney, and Cole Kmet. Like I'd say Justin has better weapons than Lamar Jackson. All you got is really Mark Andrews, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it, and that's his go-to guy.
Right. And Mark Andrews banged up right now too. So
And you got the
Everybody's
big
all banged up now.
They have a fullback.
It's the last quarter of the season. Everybody's banged up.
Like who has a fullback?
2022, it got fullback.
They have a fullback, which boy, big though. But I'm just saying,
big dude.
Like their style is totally too different.
I love that face. You see that face? That face handsome. Nah, put it back.
No, I hit a button by mistake. I was trying to get a cough drop. So anyway, let's talk about yesterday's games. So yesterday's games, obviously, one was just the Matt Ryan Invitational. The Matt Ryan. Oh, I got a big lead, and I'm gonna win. Oh, excuse me, I'm gonna lose. 33-0, biggest comeback in NFL history for the Minnesota Vikings. 33-0 at halftime. 36-0, I believe, at one point in time. And then all of a sudden, they just come back, win it overtime, at last second overtime too. Is Matt Ryan now? Again, I know Matt Ryan is not the only person to throw away this game, or nor was the only person to throw away the game in the Super Bowl. But is this just Matt Ryan's curse to take a big lead and just squander it? Because Randy called it. He sees the Colts win, or you see, and we're just blowing the crap out of them. Then all of a sudden they lose. Is this Matt Ryan's curse? Quickly, yes or no?
No.
Okay. Mike, same thing, no?
Yeah,
The
you
run
said
game, they ran away from the run game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
After it got up 33-0, I turned the channel.
Yeah.
So you're talking about coaching basically is the key on all this, not gameplay.
If you're up 33-0 and a half,
yeah,
that's all coaching. Like that is all. I don't care what you say.
You might not have a throw attempt in my game book no more.
No, yes, we're gonna QB sneak. We're gonna run it with a fullback.
We're gonna not have a pass attempt in the second half.
We're gonna keep the clock running.
With all honesty, if you take a look at the offense for Indianapolis, offensively they were responsible for 19 points in that first half. 14 of them came off turnovers and special teams. So offense wasn't exactly blowing them out of the water. It was stupid mistakes from Minnesota.
But Charles,
and whatever they did at halftime, they cleaned it up.
It don't matter.
They didn't put more time on the clock. They ain't add no extra quarters. Because there's no way I'm taking 4 to 5 minutes off every possession.
Charles, if you look and you sit here and look at possession, the possession was 36 minutes and 37 seconds for the Colts, and it was 33 minutes and 20 seconds for the Vikings.
Right.
That means you was not doing it. You was doing a terrible job with the clock.
Yeah.
And Charles, to your point earlier and what you said, when you see this man on the other side of the field, I mean, you gotta be careful, man. You don't know who you're rocking with. You rocking with a real bona fide thug right there. So I think at the end of the day, me personally, like Coach Mike said, I would have put in the second unit for the offense, and I would have ran the ball every single play because the game's
snapping it on 3.
Like the defense can stay out there. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, Justin Jefferson, everybody else, they should have been sat, and you should have just ran the ball down their throat, and it wouldn't have mattered.
Well, there you go.
But shout out Randy though, Charles.
Yeah.
Shout out Randy.
Shout out to Randy. He called. I'm thinking it's like, okay, forget it. I literally was watching the first half. I'm thinking, forget it. I'm done. I got some chores I need to do. We got to get this kitchen cleaned up. I just kind of had it on in the background. All of a sudden, I kept hearing, the Viking horn, and everybody cheering. I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? There's people still in the stands, and I'm over here like, hey son, what's the game? What's the score in the game? 36-28. I'm thinking, what? And I'm over here taking a look at it. It's like, what the hell just happened? 2 minutes to go, and they're about to score. My God, like seriously. I mean, I should have figured it out. It was Matt Ryan, but anyway.
But how much,
Vikings,
Charles, how much of that do you put on them? Because at the end of the day, you gave me a good 33, and you can't defend that.
Defense.
Like at the end of the day, that's Jeff Saturday, whatever the hell his name is.
You can go ahead and put 36 points on the board. and you have a half to people don't score 30 points in a game. Teams don't. In a game, you're going to give up 36 points in a half? That's defense all down that's just defense.
Right.
No,
I don't even put it
No,
I don't even put it as clock mismanagement. That's defense. You can't get the team off the field.
no.
There's no
It
way you
can't
don't
be
take
all
off
clock.
3-4 minutes every possession.
Fine, every possession, but guess what?
That's a whole.
Giving it to the other team.
If I get 5 possessions at 3 to 4 minutes, that's a whole quarter. So you got to score. You're not scoring that fast on me every time. They wasn't scoring that fast.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not saying they were, but I'm just saying. You mean to tell me the defense can't? You mean to tell me the defense can't hold up their end of the bargain?
They
Mike,
did.
Both Mike and Vic, 36 points and a half. You mean to tell me they can't hold up and get 33 points, get you the victory?
They also shut that team out to 0 in the first half. So we've done our part. Like now, hey, keep us off this field. We tired.
No. 60 minutes. 60 minutes. That's offense, defense, especially 60 minutes. It's not 30 minutes. If it was 30 minutes, you won the game.
You are absolutely correct. And everybody
if it was
say offense, defense.
Minutes, you won the game.
I don't care what nobody says. Everybody says there's 3 elements to a game. It's 4: offense, defense, special team, and coaching. A coach can lose a game. And that's one thing I tell my kids. A coach can lose a game, but a coach can't win a game.
Right.
And a coach that did not, if you threw the ball more than 20 times in that second half, you lost that game.
Mm-hmm.
Even if
and
you
let him make audibles to throw the ball, you should have, like you said, take him out the game. What are you throwing the ball for? There's no reason for us to throw the ball up 33.
So Mike, who lost the game?
Coaches.
Okay.
I'm putting all that on
lost
coaches.
The game?
You said what?
Who lost the game?
Coaches.
Yes.
This
Mike,
is why I say
Mike, who lost the game?
He cut me short.
That's fucked up. Jeff Saturday lost that game on a Saturday.
All right, so it's coaching. Okay. All right.
Because you can't say defense.
I just don't understand. How do you put all this on coaching when you're up by 36 points, 33 points, 36 points? You lose to the game by giving up 36 points and a half.
Charles, can I ask you this? Hey, watch this, Vic. Let me ask you this.
Just back.
Yeah. You like that? Who's your running back for the Indianapolis Colts?
Wasn't it Jonathan Taylor?
No,
he got hurt.
So you got one of the best running backs.
It was Hines.
Right now, you look at Hines. You
nope,
look at
Hines not even there, sir.
Who the fuck? I don't care who's there.
It's that cat from Buffalo.
You know what? Doesn't even matter.
He scored what's his name? What's his name? I forget his name. But at the end of the day, you look at it for what.
Oh yeah. Zach Moss.
Yeah, Zach Moss, and he's not bad. He's pretty solid for what you give him. He'll give you about 4 yards a carry. And to Coach Mike's point, a part that I wasn't really looking at it from that perspective is you look at the other side of the field, you still have Justin Jefferson. And Justin Jefferson, in my opinion, is the greatest wide receiver that's ever worn a Minnesota Vikings jersey. He's better than Randy.
Please mute him.
Nah, we ain't muting me, Mike. I think Justin's better. And that's what it is. That X factor that you need to take care of.
He's on pace to break Randy's records.
Yeah, I mean, all of them. All of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Justin.
Just look at the catches he's made. Just look at the catches he's made in the clutch.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Well, yeah, that's true. But you know what? He's proven that he is one of the elite receivers in the league.
And you have to take that into account.
I definitely agree with you on that.
But Coach Mike, my point in saying that is you look at that X factor and you look at obviously TJ Hawkinson, Dalvin Cook, like they got some dogs over there. So for you to not care about the clock whatsoever and to kind of be like, nah, go ahead. I know y'all shut out the entire first half of the game, but we want you to do it again. Like for me, it's like you said, you give me 5 minutes every possession. I mean, that's a quarter right there. So it's just at the end of the day, Saturday and the entire facility of the Indianapolis Colts needs to be fired. That's just truly how I feel about it. I mean, first of all, the biggest thing, Charles, first and foremost, every season when we talk about a team that needs a quarterback, we never talk about the Indianapolis Colts because we know they're going to bring in some washed quarterback who's still making over $25 million a year. They don't draft well. They don't really draft an offensive line. They were gifted Quentin Nelson and never really cared about it after that. I mean, it's just the foundation of what they're trying to do just does not make sense to me. And it's just one of those things where I feel like from top to bottom, everybody should be held accountable for this, except Matt Ryan. I'll give him this one because he's played like shit all year. But this game, I can't sit here and crucify him for that. That's just me.
So I mean, if I was an Indianapolis Colts fan, I'd be crucifying somebody, something, some side of the ball, something. 36 points. Can I
even be mad at Saturday? He's never even been a head coach before. Like, I can't be mad at you, bro. Like, it's so much higher than you think. And it's like, it's just horrible all the way around.
But if you have any type of football mind, which Saturday does,
he does.
I'll give Coach Mike his due. Yes, you're running the clock. You're going ahead and playing it safe. But at the same time, you can't really control what's going on the field. If Ryan is audibling, we're gonna go ahead and throw it deep, or we're gonna throw a 5-yard in cut or whatever, and incomplete, it stops the clock, and just all that crap goes ahead and factors in.
No. Once again, as a coach, at halftime, the conversation is, I don't care what you see, run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's the conversation we had.
Matt's not an idiot. Matt understands the game. He understands the formula. He also understands his offensive weapons are shit. So I don't know why. I saw Pittman drop how many passes yesterday? I mean, that kid is not who everybody thought he was. And it's just like, it's that conversation.
Yeah, but I saw Pittman catching a bunch of passes too.
Conversation at halftime. Hey, y'all, let's get out of this half, run the clock, run the ball. Let's get on to our families.
With that win, Minnesota clinches the NFC North. They are in the number 2 position right now, just ahead of the Cowboys, John. So with Minnesota number 2 right now, they would be facing the Giants at number 7. And your Philadelphia Eagles basically would have the bye still, up by a game and a half. So they got to win this one to keep that 2-game lead going up, which they should handle pretty easily.
Unless we beat you today, Mike.
Hey, anything can happen,
Oh, Mike, I was just playing. My team's so ass. It's over with.
Hey, but never mind.
We come out and do like we did against Washington, just turn the ball over. You never know.
It don't matter. I'm gonna hand you the ball, gift wrapped in a Santa Claus type Christmas wrapping. Like it's gonna be bad, Mike. It's gonna be a career day for Jalen Hurts. That's all I'm gonna say.
Let's go to the second game in Cleveland. It was Deshaun Watson's first win. Wasn't a pretty one, but run the ball. That was pretty much the story there. 13-3 over Baltimore. Tyler Huntley was struggling a lot, which I guess once you go ahead and finally get tape of Tyler Huntley this year, you probably go ahead and game plan a lot better. How much are they missing Lamar Jackson right now, guys? Huntley, I would think he's got some scrambling ability. Of course, he's no Lamar Jackson, but I'm just saying they could probably do the same game plan that Lamar has done. Run the ball, and then
he throws.
He's slow.
Go ahead.
He's slow.
He's more of a thrower.
Well, I'm not saying he's a speed burner, but I saw him scrambling around pretty good.
He's a passer. He's a pass first, throw and run second kind of guy, and they don't have the weapons to do that. You don't have. I can't name a receiver that's playing right now for Baltimore. So all he has
Mark Andrews.
Yeah, that's it.
Technically,
you could double team him. I can chip him. I can collision him at the line and have 2 guys inside outside of him and say end up on everybody else. Which what Cleveland has. They have a lot of one-on-one DBs that can play man.
Mm. I think that's why Charles, you're seeing him scramble a lot more, though, is because he is a pass-first guy, but who you throwing the ball to, you can't. So that's why he's been running around a little bit more than normally. But I think Huntley's nice. I don't know about how you feel about it, Coach Mike, but I think he's a nice bridge gap kind of guy, but he's definitely not going to win you games. And I think that's really what it is.
No, he's not sorry, but it's just like any other body. You don't never have two of the same type of players at that position at quarterback.
Right.
So you have to have a game plan of, hey, if this guy comes in the game, this is his package for him. So you should have had a package that was nothing like Lamar's. But at the same time, you can't make a major change because you don't have the line that can block longer. You don't have receivers that constantly you can believe that's going to get open at least 3 times a game. You know what I'm saying? A game.
Right.
And a lot of your play actions is RPOs and PROs. With Lamar, he can pass run, he can run pass option. He got too many options that he can do. And to make that change, he's not sorry. Nobody in the league sorry, but I think that's a major drop off.
Well, who wrote that? That's crazy.
So
It says who wrote it.
I don't know. I don't know that guy. What a weirdo.
Hey, listen, Baltimore, you can't blame it on the run game. I mean, J.K. Dobbins, 125, Gus Edwards, 55 on 7 carries. Even Huntley had 15 yards on there. So, I mean, they were running the ball. They had more run yards than pass yards. Tyler did have an interception on that one, though. Yeah. But, yeah, it was you also got to put it, too, Justin Tucker. What's up with that? Yes, there was the one block, but he's just used to be, you line it up, he's going to knock it down. Doesn't matter what. You can be from 60 yards out. Tucker missed one. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be the game because it wasn't. It was down by 10. But Tucker not able to go ahead and clinch on that. Do you think that could have been a little bit of a momentum swing there? Of course, there was a couple of 4th downs that they didn't make either. But there were a lot of missed field goals in this game.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a momentum switcher, but I wouldn't say it like signifies like the overall attitude of the team, because at the end of the day, and I truly stand by this, if you lose by a field goal, you didn't lose by a field goal. That's just how I feel about it. Unless it's like a historically, amazingly offensive game, by both sides of the field. But I think if you need to win a game by a field goal, then your offense didn't deserve to win that game to begin with, unless it's obviously like 45-40 or something like that. So, there's a lot of levels to it, and Tucker's up there, man. I mean, he's up there in age, and I'm not saying at any point this is him slowing down, but I think it's okay to give him one. You know what I mean? Like, this is not who he is. We know who he is. You look at how many misses he's had versus makes. I mean, I wouldn't kill him for it. So if it starts to continue to happen, then it starts to be a conversation. But it's just one of those days. It happens.
Yeah, I mean, Tucker, there's no question. He is one of the most accurate kickers in the NFL, in NFL history. So I mean, you definitely give him one on that one. On the opposite side of the ball, though, Deshaun Watson didn't exactly light it up, even though he threw for his first touchdown in Cleveland, 161 yards in the air. And they also ran the ball pretty well. Nick Chubb had just under 100 yards, 99 right there. Kareem Hunt, 22. Deshaun even scrambled for 22. So they got open. Amari Cooper, who's still healthy. He hasn't gotten hurt yet. Still making catches out there. And, of course, Donovan Peoples-Jones getting the lone touchdown pass, or the lone touchdown period in this game. That was a completion from Deshaun Watson. So Watson getting the rust off a little bit. I mean, he had a decent completion percentage. They're not handing him the game by no means, but it sounds like Cleveland beating Baltimore, of course, down Deshaun Watson. Maybe playing spoiler. Is this going to be a problem for the Ravens going forward, or you see Baltimore recovering off this and obviously getting into the playoffs, but not only that, maybe even a lot better in the playoffs postseason. I'm not sure what I'm saying, but yeah. But do you see this hurting Baltimore?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think the question's Lamar.
Baltimore's going to be all right.
It's just
who's got the status on Lamar? Is Lamar coming back? When's he expected to come back?
I think next week, right?
They don't. It's day to day.
Yeah, I think next week was on the schedule. Was the projected comeback?
But the good thing about it is they're
Okay.
still, even if he doesn't come back next week, they're still up one game. because Miami lost and New England plays.
Yeah, which New England ain't gonna win, right? Yeah, Baltimore's up a game. They're up against they're up a game over Miami, which Miami already played, and they lost 8-6. So they're up one game. They're actually they're a half game behind Cincinnati, who plays. So they actually still have they're still in contention for the division, as long as they get some help from Cincinnati. But they gotta win out, I think, or at least 3 out of the next 4, and hope Cincinnati falters a little bit. But right now for the AFC, it's Buffalo by a half game over Kansas City for number 1. Kansas City 10-3, Cincinnati 9-4, and Tennessee 7-6. Those are your division leaders, 1 through 4. And then you have Baltimore at 5, Miami at 6, New England at 7, and it's a 3-way race for that 7th spot with the Chargers and Jets also at 7 and 6. They're all tied right now. New England gets the bump. So we got those playoffs brackets, and let's go ahead and talk about Buffalo and Miami. The last game there, which was it actually when there was social media blew this up. It says that the stadium was covered in snow. The stands were covered in snow by an hour before kickoff. Take a look at the game. It's like there's no snow on the field. What happened?
Right.
Snow plows? Just no snow falling until like the end of the game, which by beautiful.
Charles,
beautiful.
They're going to snow that plow that. They're trying to make sure everybody's healthy for the playoffs.
Especially those two teams too. If it was, I'll tell you what, if it was the Bears and the Lions, there would have been 12 feet of snow. No one would have gave a shit. It was the Miami Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills. Big time game. I mean, you have to. But Charles, did you see? I meant to send it to you guys in the group chat, but I lost it. Did you see all the Bills fans throwing the snowballs at the refs? Like that was my Sunday win. That was my favorite moment of this week.
There was actually a PA announcement, according to what I read. Please do not throw any snowballs. It will be a 15-yard personal foul against the Bills if you do.
They didn't give a shit. They were like,
I don't think they give a shit. Yeah.
Drunk
so,
fans,
but obviously the fans would have, any fan would have gotten ejected for that, though. But that's, again, I don't think they care in Buffalo, really.
Nah, definitely not.
Yeah,
the party's outside.
It's not the first time that's happened anyway. There's been snow and snowballs being thrown. It's not the first time. The NFL should have been able to handle that, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But a 3-point game, you're talking about, hey, field goal wins this one. This one was a pretty high-scoring affair, and it came down to where the Bills just milked that clock. Good clock management. They sucked it all the way down to 2 seconds. Bring on the field goal, bring on the victory, and Buffalo takes care of business on Saturday night. So
Josh Allen,
will you take a
job managing the clock,
which he normally does. That's why he's elite. That's why he's an elite quarterback, because he knows the situation, knows the game, and he wins. He wins. And his team is in first place. Josh Allen. Go ahead, Vic. You can say it. Josh Allen is an elite quarterback. He didn't look really elite, really. I mean, if you take a look, if you take a look at his 4 touchdowns, he was elite. 4 touchdowns, 304 yards for Josh Allen. He also ran 77 yards. It's like he's just one ACL sprain for just being from elite to average. Honestly, he's just one ACL sprain from ACL.
Don't say that shit ever again in your life. Don't ever say that against my boy.
Elite to average.
We do not talk like that.
Yeah,
that is negative. That is negativity, sir.
But listen, this game had no shortage of offense. Both teams over 400 yards total. And on the Miami side, especially playing in the cold, Raheem Mostert, 136. You even give Jalen Waddle 3 catches for 114 yards. Damn. And Tyreek does what Tyreek does. Got a touchdown, 69 yards on 9 catches. And Jalen Waddle had a touchdown as well. So no shortage on it. With Miami going into Buffalo and actually putting up this type of game, how far do we see Miami going into the playoffs? Because it looks like they're going. I mean, I don't think they're going to go ahead and tank the next 4 games. I think they will, or next 3 games, excuse me. I think they will be in there. How far do we see Miami going? Because apparently they can go to the cold and put up a good show, maybe even win, if it wasn't for Josh Allen, the elite quarterback in the NFL.
I think the order would favor them. It gotta be the right position for me to say they're gonna be. I don't think they're gonna win more than 2, but it's got to be because the bottom half is going to determine a lot from that AFC. The bottom half is just too crazy. Like if they end up with New England, you never know.
Oh, don't do that, Mike. Don't hype him up. Don't give him that.
As of right now, they in.
I'll never hear the end of it. This is the next show for the next 3 weeks. That's what it is.
So
will you relax? I'm not taking it seriously.
I do agree with you though.
So,
I do think.
But if they have to play New England, that means that Kansas City. They got to beat Kansas City.
Right.
New England.
So Miami, by the way, they're on a 3-game losing streak. Just FYI, lost San Francisco, lost to the Chargers, lost to Buffalo, all on the road, by the way.
Right. They're horrible.
They're home Christmas Day against the Packers. Then they go New Year's Day to New England, and then the Jets at home to close out the season.
Yeah.
With that, they're 8-6 right now. Where do you see them at the end of the year? Do you see them 11-6, 10-7, 9-7?
I would say 10-7.
9-8. 10-7.
Yeah,
so they're winning 2 out of the 3.
Yeah, I would say 2 out of the 3. I think.
So you're saying that they're gonna beat the Packers and Jets and lose to the Patriots? I get it.
No, not at all.
Who you got them losing
I got
to?
you.
I got them losing on Christmas to Aaron Rodgers. I think at the end of the day, the way they've been moving with it, I gotta give flowers. The way Christian Watson's been playing has been very elite. And I'm loving that connection with them. And right now they're all kind of just hitting at the right time. I don't think they're a playoff team. Obviously, they just got eliminated. But if Aaron Rodgers is playing, then I definitely would imagine that they're going to see that. If he's not and it's Jordan Love, then it's a different conversation. But that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, that's what was going to be my question.
Yeah.
Coaches, what do you think? Even if Rodgers does play, do you see Miami pulling it out, or do you see them losing to Green Bay? Or actually, just an above overall. What do you see Miami at the end of the year? What do you see them losing to, or
where's the game at? Is Miami?
It's in Miami. The Green Bay game in Miami.
Oh no,
it's Aaron Rodgers sucks.
Aaron Rodgers sucks in Florida. Everybody knows that. For some reason, he doesn't play well.
But just to go ahead and give you a weather analysis, the high is only expected to be in the mid-50s down here.
Yeah, but
on
50
Christmas
in Miami is a lovely 50.
It ain't no 50 in Chicago.
Yeah, 50 in Miami is a lovely 50.
Maybe a negative 50 in Chicago.
100%. Oh my God.
But I think looking at like right now, they would play Cincinnati first round.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could beat them.
I don't think so.
Don't think so?
I think, and that was a point I was going to bring up. I look at this Dolphins team the same way I look at the Bengals of last year. I think you have the Higgins and Chase and Tyreek. And obviously you look at Jalen Waddle and Gesicki and those guys. But I think the difference, you have veterans on the defensive side too. They're not great, but they're veterans. They can step up. They understand those moments. I think that's the conversation for me is, can you make plays like Joe Burrow? And that's where with Tua, I have so many question marks because I haven't really ever seen him take over a game. I've seen him get bailed out. I've seen him have statistically good numbers, but I've never really seen him take over a game to that capacity. And I think that's what I'm waiting for, though. I'm waiting for that moment for Tua, and I'm going to be like, okay, he's here. He's arrived.
You're not gonna get that moment from Tua.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't think they beat Cincinnati.
The reason is you got speedsters.
Mm-hmm.
Like they eat up yards, but look, Tyreek Hill only has maybe 4 or 5 touchdowns. It's a difference when you're talking about Chase.
Right.
Chase can make things happen. Like at the end of the day, man, Miami Tua is not gonna put up like crazy touchdown numbers.
Right.
That's because of the kind of guys he got. Because if they can't get you vertical, then everything is check down, short, small. Then when he get inside the 15, okay, I'm running with my running back.
Right. I would say though, Waddle is a really great route runner, and I think Gesicki is a pretty solid red zone.
No. I'm not knocking this. They're route runners. That is cool until you get inside the red zone.
Right.
And when you look at Tyreek Hill, who are you going to pick? Tyreek Hill or Jamar Chase?
Right, I'm picking Jamar all day. But that's what I'm trying to say, though, is like I don't think they have that guy that's going to really take over that game. And you look at their backfield, too. It's really Jeff Wilson, Mostert. It's by committee. I mean, you really don't know which game is going to be who. Right now, it's obviously Mostert because Jeff Wilson's out. And I didn't know that. And I started him in fantasy last night. But whatever. It's definitely something for me.
How dare you?
I didn't know there was another game. I was just whatever. I was flabbergasted by Randy's performance with the Colts, and I just went to bed. That's what it was. But it was crazy to me, to really see these conversations of Tyreek is going to make this huge impact and Tyreek is going to take them over the top. I don't think so. I think they have a lot, like you said, they have a lot of other issues that they haven't addressed. Their defense isn't as great as everybody thought it was going to be. You don't have a red zone threat. You have running backs by committee. And if you have running backs by committee, you don't have a running back. That's just how I feel about it. Unless you're Coach Mike and you have Jalen Hurts. That's a different conversation. You have a beautiful thing going on over there. I ain't going to kill you.
What's the name is running back?
And Miles Sanders is nice. Miles Sanders is nice this year. But
Dallas is running back by committee, too.
Right. But in years past, though, you look at it, you look at Jordan Howard, you're looking at Miles Sanders, and none of those guys are really doing it for you. And that's one of the biggest key factors with the problem with Carson Wentz was, it was a one-dimensional offense, and Carson really wasn't taking that next step either. And I think that's where Cincinnati has such a favor is these guys. And me personally, I love T. Higgins. I think he's a wide receiver one just standing behind Jamar Chase. Like it's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? It's like you're standing next to a Hall of Famer. It's like Jimmy Garoppolo and obviously Tom Brady. Like if I'm Jimmy, I ain't mad that Tom's in front of me. It's the GOAT. Like, so it is what it is. But I just don't think that this team, I know it's very long-winded, but I just don't think this team is the team to really do it.
All right. Fair enough. The Saturday games may have to be a wash because Mike, I didn't see your picks, and Coach Mike I'm talking about.
I sent my
picks on there, so I know you sent your picks because we're keeping.
Even though I missed the first 15 weeks, I sent my picks.
Yeah, it's all good.
Just scratch the Saturday games. We can still go.
Yeah, I think
have you caught us up and put me in first place yet?
Absolutely not. Actually, you're in last. To be honest with you.
Bang bang.
Actually, I anyway, so let's move on.
No. Time out. What's the ranking here?
Huh?
Who's in third?
I think Randy is.
Randy's in first.
I know that.
Coach, you're in second. I'm in third.
What?
And
Mike is... No. What'd you say? Who's in second?
I said, Coach Vic, you're in last.
No, I'm not in last. No, I'm not in last.
I know. I'm obviously, if you paid attention the first time I said it. Mike Hughes is in last.
Okay.
You just got to go
to
ahead.
Be fair, though, I have over 400 less picks than you do, Charles. But I mean, hey, whatever. It is what it is.
It sure is funny.
Picks,
it sure is funny. I'm in second now. But continue.
Anyway, you goof nuts.
Hey.
Go ahead and let's go ahead and make these picks count. Of course, nothing. Listen, like Coach Vic says, doesn't matter what you do in the regular season. It's the postseason that matters. So that's why I'm going to make sure we make the playoffs, and then we go ahead and we pick for the championship.
So hold on,
the top four players get into the playoffs.
Mike,
I missed the playoffs. Coach Beckett, let me ask you this: you're going to win the division. You're going to be number one in the NFC. If you lose out the second round, do you consider that a losing season? 100%.
Yeah.
If you lose out in the NFC Championship, you consider that a losing season, even though you've never been there.
They were there just a few years ago.
As a quarterback, as Jalen Hurts, or are you talking about as a team?
As a team.
Oh, you gotta go. You gotta go to the bowl, Mike. We talking winners only.
Right now, with how you playing and the expectations is bowl or bust. It's
Okay.
a bad season.
Mike,
Okay.
can I ask you this though? I'm gonna piggyback off what Coach Bennett said. If you were in the AFC, does that change the conversation? Because you look at the NFC. I mean, for me, Eagles in the NFC, it's Super Bowl or bust. But you go to the AFC, you look at the
Still
Chiefs,
Super
you
Bowl
look at
or
the
bust.
Bills. Still Super Bowl or bust?
Still Super Bowl or bust.
I think that's an interesting conversation though.
Yeah, is
It's a little different, but it's
Nah.
kind of the same.
I think
Yeah.
I think we're hyping up this
Yeah,
AFC. a little bit too
that's a very
Yeah.
interesting conversation.
I think the AFC.
I think
That's
it's
a
better
very
than the
interesting
NFC.
conversation.
AFC has 3 teams.
And Coach Mike's the only one in the NFC that I really trust.
Okay, I don't. I've said it. Okay,
well, you know, he got that team down in Florida.
I know he got that team down in Florida.
but we'll see. We'll see.
All right, gentlemen.
We'll see.
All right, gentlemen.
How many games I'm back?
It's time. We got to go ahead and get our picks in here. Let's go ahead and do it. Week 15. Let's go ahead and pick it out. We're going to be picking Week 15. And now that we're all here, actually, both Coach and Vic, and I guess even Chicago Mike, we have to talk
Thank you,
real
sir.
quickly whether we pick some extra games or not. What are we doing next week? Next Sunday is Christmas. I believe me and Coach Mike are already to the agreement. We're not doing a Christmas show. Do we do a Saturday show, or are we just picking and just saying have a great holiday?
I'm down for whatever y'all down for.
What do you say?
If anything, it has to be Saturday. Like I can't do. I know for a fact I won't be able to do Sunday unless if the weather is.
Well, I'm
supposed
not
to be
gonna do
like
Sunday
it is,
either.
then I'll be-
Sunday is Christmas.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Christmas. We're not gonna do a Sunday morning show.
we can do. We can do a
Did,
Saturday.
So-
did you get me something for Christmas this year, man?
Absolutely, I'm going to give you my best wishes, and I'll go ahead and send you a girl a vibrator. You can use it with her.
Dang.
Let me go ahead and
I'm gonna clip that too.
all right. Let's go ahead and get these games picked out here. So let's start off first in New Orleans. We got New Orleans going up against Atlanta. Atlanta is starting the rookie quarterback Ritter, and New Orleans is sticking with Dalton. In New Orleans, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Saints,
I got Falcons.
and apparently so did Randy.
I got Saints.
Saints.
Falcons.
For
They would have
anybody
a
that
vendor.
does matter all across New Orleans. All right. Let's go to Carolina, and Carolina is at home. They are taking on Mitchell Trubisky and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Carolina is on a 3-game winning streak. So they're going up against Pittsburgh. I got Carolina on this one.
I got D. Sam Darnold.
I got Money Mitch, baby.
Pittsburgh.
Goddamn receivers
Money
didn't
Mitch.
even work. They
Pittsburgh. Coach, Mike, you going with Pittsburgh too? Did I hear that?
Pittsburgh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Money
Wow.
Mitch, baby. I love Coach Mike. Coach Mike's my boy. That's my guy right there. Come on now.
And actually, Randy goes with Pittsburgh as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Come back, Tor, baby.
Let's
Kenny
move on.
Hook.
Let's move on to Chi-Town, where
Ah, fuck.
let's move on to Chi-Town, where the Chicago Bears will lose. I mean, they're playing the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know. This is a tough one. I think I'm going to take Chicago to lose.
Ah, you're funny. You're hilarious. Every time I see you, man, it's just such a funny guy. Great guy. Got the Eagles.
Randy's got
Whatever.
Philadelphia as well. Coaches, what do you guys think?
Philly.
Fly.
Is there any
Eagles, fly.
debate?
No way.
No shot.
I've only been wrong with them
Right.
one time this year.
All right, we're going to Houston.
What?
The 1-11-1 Texans. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and be in a barn burner against the Kansas City Chiefs. I got KC.
Yeah.
Chiefs. I think they're gonna fire Lovey, man.
Oh,
I hate it, but
Even though it's the quarterback he need,
I think
Yeah.
I think he's gonna clean house.
they looking at the OC from Philly.
Lovey and
DC.
no, I think they're gonna fire the GM too.
Yeah, you got to. There's no direction.
And
They should just move the team to Tennessee. You know how well that worked out last time.
The Oilers.
All right. Everybody got KC. Jacksonville at home against Dallas. We know one person in the chat room whose pick really doesn't count. We know who he's picking. I kind of like Jacksonville, though. I think Jacksonville could pull up an upset, but Trevor Lawrence is questionable. Does anybody know if Trevor Lawrence is playing?
He was questionable last week. Man,
he's playing.
He's playing? Okay.
Honestly,
I'm going to pick an upset here. I'm going to do Jacksonville.
I'm going to do the Cowboys, but, I'm rocking with T-Law.
I got Cowboys.
Cowboys for me. I want Jacksonville to win, but Cowboys. I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm going to pick Jacksonville. Write me down for Jacksonville, Charles. Upset City. I'm with you.
You going with Jacksonville?
Yep.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Coach,
like I said, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do in the regular season. It's the postseason.
I know.
Randy had Dallas too, Charles?
Yeah, Randy had Dallas. All right. Let's go to the Zach Wilson-led New York Jets. Trying to get his faith back against the Detroit Lions. I got my Detroit in New York, by the way, but I got me Detroit.
I got Detroit.
Detroit.
Lions.
Man.
Ain't that crazy? Ain't that love, man? It's been so long. Everybody on the panel got Detroit. How many times you say you can say that?
I don't know. Randy got Detroit as well. Robert Saleh taking all these receipts. Remember, how he started the season? I'm going to go and make sure I click. Well, guess what? We want our money back, Robert. Just saying.
100%.
All right, now let's click into the 4 o'clock games. 4 o'clock Eastern time, start time for the rest of these games. In Denver, it is the battle of the backups. Brett Rippon against Colt McCoy. Denver and Arizona at Mile High. I take Denver, the home team, I guess.
I'll take AZ.
I'm taking Arizona.
They gonna
Who's
run
doing
that
construction right now?
That's at Mike's house. God dang. This is hard. I take Denver.
I know it's you got two backups going on there, but you know what? Denver hasn't really scored a lot of points. So
yeah, but
maybe I'm picking against myself.
Arizona offense is trash.
Yeah, but James Conner, you could trust on a couple times to be the worst.
I'm gonna ride with Denver, man, because Mike, he left that bandwagon.
He did, absolutely. Okay, 4 o'clock start time in Sin City, Vegas. The Raiders and Patriots going out there. It is Josh McDaniels against his old team, and you know how Bill Belichick is against his coach, his assistants. He's actually right down the middle, 50%. So it's in Vegas, and I think Josh just knows way too much. I'm going with Vegas.
Dude, I'm gonna go with the Raiders because the only way to beat the Raiders, you have to throw the football, and I don't think they can throw the football.
I'll go Raiders.
Yep. I got the Raiders.
Yeah, Devontae Adams, I think is too much.
And then Waller and them are back.
Actually, Randy's going my team. He's going the Patriots. So
I think
Randy
Josh
actually
Jacobs
gets the Patriots on that one. So. Yeah, that's true. I think Jacobs too will run wild.
Insane.
Even though Christian Barmore has been activated, he's playing. So they're gonna have a little plug up middle. We'll see if that helps.
Yeah.
All right. 4:25 start time Eastern time. It's the Chargers in LA against the Tennessee Titans. This one's going to be a good one. I think it is. But I think Tennessee's got too much defense for Justin Herbert. So I'm going to pick Tennessee on this one.
Justin Herbert's been failing me all year, so I'm going to go with Tennessee.
Okay. What do you guys think?
Tennessee.
Comeback City. I'm taking the Chargers this week.
Hold on. Hey, what the playoffs look like? I might ride with the Chargers.
No, don't ride with me. I need to be by myself so I can catch up. Stay with Tennessee.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I already put you down for Tennessee. No getting out of it. All right. Actually, Randy did go with the Chargers, by the way, so just putting that out there. In Tampa Bay, where the 6 and 7 top seeded in the NFC South, Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the top rated team in the AFC North, the Cincinnati Bengals. Love Tom Brady. I really do. I love Tom Brady, and I'm just going to see him march happily into retirement after he gets his ass handed to him by Cincinnati.
I got Cincinnati too.
I got Cincy. Y'all know how I roll.
Man, he just trying to get him. Give me Cincinnati. 6 and 7, and you winning.
Cincinnati across the board. There you go.
Hey, you right. 6 and 7 winning our division, but I remember the Saints had to play another 6 and 7 team and lost in the first round. So
that's true.
We just got to get to the party.
Yeah, well, just get to the party. Same way with our pickers. You know, remember, top 4 pickers get into the party. All right, Sunday night game is in Washington. Taylor Heineke going to have a Heineke when he goes up against the New York Football Giants. Listen, I'm liking Washington. I'm digging it.
I got Washington.
Yeah, Coach, I see you. Come on, finally on the Tay-Town wagon. Let's go. I got Heineke, baby. That's QB1.
Yeah, I know you got Heineke. You probably have a couple of them right there right now. Coach Mike,
you got one.
More of a
Giants
Bud Light
win
guy.
this one.
Ooh. Randy does pick.
He got the Giants because the Commanders beat them Eagles.
Monday Night Football. It is the Rams at Green Bay against the Packers. Rams, Packers.
I got the Rams coming out their little slump.
Listen, I got Sam Darnold led Rams against the Packers. I'm going to go ahead and go LA.
You got the wrong white boy. That's Baker Mayfield, sir. But
okay.
I got the Rams as well.
Who the Rams play?
Packers.
The Packers.
Rams.
And I think it's in LA.
Is
it Green Bay?
I'm gonna go Green Bay.
It's in Green Bay.
I'm gonna go Green Bay.
I think the only reason I would pick the Rams is because right now Green Bay's eliminated. The Rams still got a shot. Statistically, they still have a shot. Very
potentially.
slim.
All right, so we got me and both Mikes with Rams and Randy Green Bay. Okay, now Thursday, December 22nd, Jacksonville against the Jets. This is premature because we have no idea who's going to start for the Jets. It's going to be Mike White coming back. You know what? It don't even matter. I got Jacksonville.
I got Jacksonville.
I got Jets.
Jets.
Come on, Coach Mike.
T-Law. Randy went ahead.
Yeah, I'm with you again. I hate to say it. The Jacksonville's been shocking everybody. I'm going Jacksonville.
No laws.
Okay. Now, let's make this number one programming note and pick note. Saturday is the big day, not Sunday. Saturday is where majority of the games are going to be played. And we'll have an announcement on the Touchdown Crew and ASAP when this announcement's made. If we do a show, it will be on Saturday. If we do not do a show, we will post our picks on the Touchdown Crew Facebook page for Saturday and Sunday and Monday's games. And also for next Thursday. Let's say, is there a Thursday game on week 17? There's a Thursday game as well. So if we do not do a show, we'll post our picks for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Thursday of next week. If we do not do a show, we want to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa, any holiday that you participate in, and of course, Happy New Year if we don't see you. In the meantime, though, we're going to assume we're doing a show on Saturday. If not, we'll make that announcement and we'll go ahead and come to that decision. In the meantime, enjoy the games today. There's still another 20 minutes or so with stoppage time for the World Cup. It's 2-0 Argentina. Looks like they're going to win, but you never know. And we'll see you when we see you. Guys, any last? Go ahead.
Go Bears.
That's it.
Philadelphia Super Bowl. Champs.
Philadelphia Super Bowl. All right. Hey, we had 4 people in here today. So thank you, Mike, Chicago Mike up there to join in. We appreciate it. You've been long missed, and we will see you when we see you. Have a good one from the Touchdown Crew. Take care, everybody.
Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports, all plays.